Good evening to everybody. This has been a wild and crazy time, but I just wanted to take a few minutes of your time and tell you about one of the most popular hot button issues that is out there right now, and that's the stimulus payment. So I know this is on everybody's mind because we continue to get calls about this. So I just wanted to tell you a little bit about the stimulus payment and how it's calculated, what's involved, and what you can expect. This was passed about a week and a half ago as part of the coronavirus acts, or a series of 3 acts that have been passed, and this was in one of those acts. And it's a recovery rebate, and it's essentially an advance payment for a 2020 refundable tax credit. So it's going to be a tax credit on your 2020 income tax return that will be refundable, but the government is paying that out now so that the money can get in your hands today, as opposed to waiting until you file your return next year after the end of the year. And so kind of the way that's going to work is they're going to take let me tell you about how much it is first. So that's the most important thing to everybody. So it's going to be $1,200 per adult is the amount of the refundable credit, and $500 for every child, qualifying child. And qualifying child is a child under 17 years of age. So what's going to happen is the IRS is going to assist in this, obviously, and they are going to look at your 2019 filed income tax return. And if your income tax return is AGI, adjusted gross income, is below certain levels, that is what the refundable tax credit is going to be paid on. And so those levels are, for a single person, if your AGI, adjusted gross income, is below $75,000, you will get the full amount of the refundable credit. Above $75,000, it starts phasing out until you get to $99,000, and then you're completely phased out. That's with no kids. If you have a child that adds to that limit, I think it's about $10,000 for each child that you have. So rather than phasing completely out at $99,000, you would phase out at $109,000 completely, and anything below that, you would get a little bit of the stimulus payment. So that's the phase out limit for single. For a head of household, it begins at $112,500 up to $146,500. That's when you would be completely phased out. And for a married filing joint couple, your AGI can be anything below $150,000, and if it's below that, you'll get the full amount of the refundable credit, and it begins to phase out till it gets to $198,000, at which point you're completely phased out. And again, if you have children, that adds to that phase out limit, another $10,000 per child. So they're going to pay this based on your 2019 tax return. Filed tax return. If you're it's only April the 2nd as I record this. If you have not been paid if you have not filed your 2019 tax return, they're going to look back to your 2018 tax return. There's some potential strategies there. If you haven't filed your 2019 tax return, it may be better to wait and let them pay this on the 2018 tax return. Or it could be important to hurry up and file your 2019 tax return and get paid the stimulus based on that if your AGI is lower in 19 than it was in 2018. That's something, if you're in that position, then that's something we should discuss rather quickly. As they say they're going to pay this out as rapidly as possible, but by December 31st of this year. And most people are saying that they're going to try to get this paid out within the next 3 to 6 weeks is what the idea is. They're trying to get it here as soon as possible. So we can discuss that if you have if you're kind of right on that bubble. The people who qualify or will not get this are non-resident aliens and dependents who are on who are on someone's tax return and are over the age of 17, for instance, like a college student. They're not going to receive a stimulus payment, and they're above the age of 17, so that $500 is not going to come to the parent at that point because they're over the age of 17. And also, estates and trusts do not qualify for the stimulus. The way they're going to send the money out is they're going to send it out. If you get direct deposited refunds from the IRS, they're going to send it as a direct deposit into that same bank account. If not, they're going to send it to the address that's on your tax return, your last filed tax return, either 2019 or 2018. So that's where it's going to go and how you're going to receive it. And then what's going to happen is there's going to be a true up on the 2020 tax return. So let's say, for instance, your AGI, you're married filing joint, your AGI is below the $150,000. So you receive, say you have one child, so you're going to receive $1,200, $2,400, $2,900 stimulus payment. Then when you file your 2020 tax return, there's going to be a form that's going to calculate this exact same credit based on your 2020 income, because this is a 2020 rebate, a refundable credit that they're giving to us now in advance. So on your tax return in 2020, they'll calculate what that credit's going to be. If your 2020 income is below that $150,000 AGI and you should have gotten the $2,900, then it's a wash and there's no impact on your tax return. It's not taxable. It's a refundable credit, so the money coming to you is not taxable. If you receive $2,900 now, based on a 2019 or 18 AGI below the $150,000, and well, let's go the other direction first. Let's say you filed your 2019 return and your AGI is $175,000, and so you have phased out a little bit of this credit. So rather than getting $2,900, let's say you get $2,000. So on your 2020 tax return, if your AGI in 2020 is actually below that $150,000 phase out limit, then that calculation is going to calculate that you should have gotten $2,900. You only got $2,000, and so there's going to be a $900 refundable credit on your tax return in 2020 that you will receive. It'll reduce your tax liability, and if your tax liability is zero or goes below zero, the credit will be refunded. In the other way, let's say that you get the full $2,900 now because your 2019 AGI is below the 150, but when you file your 2020 tax return, let's say your AGI is now 175. So it's above. When we do that calculation on your tax return, your refundable credit should only be $2,000, but you got $2,900. The net effect of that is going to be nothing. There's not going to be any kind of a repayment that you have to make. This is sort of similar to 2008 when they sent out those rebates. It was the same, had the same effect. So if you get more now than what you should get in 2020, the IRS is kind of saying, congratulations, we gave you a little bit of extra money. Hope that helps stimulate the economy. So that's kind of a nice gift. And so therefore, there are some planning things that can happen in 2020. But also, again, if you haven't filed your 2019 return, we should look at it, look at your 2018 and see if we can get that. If we need to get something in within the next few weeks, we need to hurry up and do that. So if you hadn't filed 1918, one of the main questions I keep getting is about Social Security. There was a rumor going around that they were going to try to put together, the IRS was going to try to put together some kind of website that they were going to require you to file some kind of simple tax return. And they have come out this morning and said that is not the case. And if you receive Social Security benefits or disability benefits, that they will be looking at SSA and who gets those checks, and they are going to pay stimulus payments based on that. So you don't have to do, as of today, April the 2nd, again, this changed from yesterday, but as of right now, you're not going to have to do anything. Subject to change. Everything's been changing like crazy in the last week and a half. But as of today, you're not going to need to do anything. So that's all I wanted to tell you about the stimulus payment, just to get a little information to you. So if you have questions, please call us, email me if you have any questions, and check this. I'm gonna link to this YouTube video to you. So there are going to be other videos that we're posting. So please feel free to look there and watch the other videos that we post, and hopefully we put out some good information that you find useful. So thank you very much, and hope you have a nice evening.